Hello family, welcome to this service code. On this service code, I want to take a look at Dr. Abel Damina, who says there is Jesus and there is another Jesus. Dr. Abel Damina said this practically, that there is Jesus and there is another Jesus. There is gospel and there is still another gospel. In this video, he explained another Jesus. He explained the real Jesus. He explained the gospel and another gospel. You have to calm down, take your time. I want you to watch this video. So for you to know the difference, for you to know the real Jesus and another Jesus, for you to know the core gospel and another gospel. Another gospel should not be preached. Another Jesus, yes, you can see, but should not be followed. Only one Jesus, only the real one should be followed. So I don't want to bore you, I don't want to talk too much. So I want you to listen or to watch this video, how he explained, so you can have the real reason, or to know the main and the real Jesus which you need to follow. So watch this video and I will be right back. Watch.
There is Jesus, there is another Jesus. There is spirit, there is another spirit. There is gospel, there is another gospel. I prove it to you. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse number 4. Stay with me. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse number 4. For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached, or if you receive another spirit which you have not received. That means when you go to a church and people are falling down in the spirit, ask which spirit. Ask which spirit is in operation, because you need to know the spirit. There is the Spirit of God and there is another spirit, and they have similar manifestations. Okay, there is Jesus, there is another Jesus. So you go to a church, they are calling Jesus, but it's not Jesus who died, it's another Jesus. So the question now will be, how do I know which is another spirit, and how do I know which is another Jesus, since they are similar? Look at it. He now says, or another gospel which you have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. That word, you might well bear with him, means resist him. So there is another gospel, there is another spirit, there is another Jesus. How do I know which one is the Spirit of God? The question to ask is, what did the preacher preach that has made people to be falling down? It is the message that determines the spirit, and it is the message that reveals the Jesus. What is the man preaching? The content will determine which spirit is in operation, and the message will determine what kind of Jesus the man is calling. Because Jesus is not Jesus, even though Jesus is Jesus. So it is the message that determines which Jesus, which spirit is in operation. I can show you another one. 2 John chapter 1 verse 8. It's just one chapter. 2 John verse 8. Look to yourselves, that we lose not those things which you have wrought, but that we receive a full reward. Pay attention, I beg you. Next verse. Whosoever transgresseth and abideth not in the doctrine of Christ. Abide in the doctrine of Christ. The word doctrine there is the Greek word didache of Christ. Didache is spelled as D-I-D-A-C-H-E, didache. And abided not in the didache of Christ, hath not God. How do I know if there is God in a preaching or in a church or not in a church? Ask yourself, what teaching abides here? Because any church where the core is not Christ from the beginning to the end is not God moving. Look at it. Whosoever transgresseth and abided. The word abide means to take up residence. That means the message that lives there is Christ. From the beginning to the end is Christ. It's not motivational speaking. It's not steps to success. It's not pillars to prosperity. It's not sow a seed so that God can multiply your business. No, that's not the gospel. Moreover, there's no amount of money you give that God will multiply. So don't let anybody deceive you. God does not multiply money. If you want your money to multiply, go to the marketplace. God is not a money multiplier. Why did Jesus die? To multiply money, to save these people from their sins.
Welcome back, family. If you talk about things that is happening right now, you will know and you will understand that truly there is Jesus and there is another Jesus. Because a lot of people will tell you that they come to this place, come to this country, come to this city. There is a man there who performs miracle. Even in Nigeria, in Akwa Ibom, Calabar, I don't know precisely, I can't remember. There is a place where they say there is Jesus is there. That is the one that the Messiah has come. That Jesus is on earth. That is another Jesus. Anyone who does not preach only Christ, that preaches another thing, that's another gospel, which is not according to the scripture. Such person you should do away from that person. Run away from him or her. Anyone that preaches of the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ should not be taken serious. Such person, you should not go close to him or her. Yes, because the only Jesus we know is the one that came in human flesh, lived among us, died, was buried, and was resurrected after 3 days. And he has gone back, and which he said he will come back. He has gone to prepare a place for us so that when he come back, he can take us to where he is. So where he is, so that we can be with him. That is the real Jesus. Another Jesus are the ones you hear, hey, in those states that are having their miracles. Jesus is there performing. Hey, there's this man performing signs and wonders. That's another Jesus. Anyone that preach another gospel rather than the one that we preach should not be taken seriously. Such person, these guys are lined up and now they tell you they can see, they prophesy. After their prophecy have backfired, they come to tell you another story. Run away from such people, such pastors, such prophets. Make sure you run away from them. They are preaching another Jesus. They are preaching another gospel, which is unbiblical. Be careful out there, people who you believe in. Be careful out there, people you trust. Be careful out there, the kind of pastors that preach and you listen to. God help us. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, it's very important to comment, subscribe, and share. I will see you on another episode. God bless you. Bye for now.